I gotta admit, it's really good. It hits me in that nostalgia spot oh so perfectly.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will, and this is going to be a quick review for Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie. I don't think it specifically says the movie, but it is the movie version of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers that was just released on Disney Plus, and this is going to be my quick review for it. This stars the voice talents of Andy Samberg and John Mulaney voicing Chip 'n Dale, as well as Seth Rogen, and a whole slew of actors and actresses in this movie. This is not a reboot. Like the poster says, it's not a reboot, it's a comeback. And this movie takes place in a world where Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers was an actual TV series. And in this world, you have humans and live action and animated characters all living together in the real world, basically. It's very reminiscent of a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and that's what it feels like to me, a spiritual successor to that classic movie. So before I jump into my review of the movie, if this is your first time checking me out, hi, my name's Will, and I do reviews, reactions, discussions, gaming, drinking, a whole bunch of stuff, but usually all things geeky. So if that is sort of your thing, and this is your first time checking me out, maybe consider liking this video or subscribing to the channel if you do enjoy it. I post weekly and I'm on the road to 500 subscribers, so I really can't get there without the help of all you beautiful people at home. If you like what you see, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and let's talk about Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. So Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers was an animated series that came out, produced by Disney back in the 90s. The 90s were, for you kids at home, the 90s were 30 years ago at this point. It's so sad. I feel old. So back in the 90s, there was a lot of great animated series, and one of them was Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, about these pair of chipmunks who were basically like detectives and they solved crimes and stuff like that. So in the movie, it picks up basically like this is a behind-the-scenes documentary of their life. We really focus on Chip 'n Dale's relationship all the way back from when they were kids and how they became famous through the Rescue Rangers, and then their inevitable breakup and splitting and not talking for like 20, 30 years. A lot of the story focuses on them coming back together because their friend Monterey Jack, who was another mouse, not the cheese, he was kidnapped, and they're basically trying to solve his disappearance and try to find their friend. And through the entire movie, we get hundreds of cameos, not just Disney cameos. We're talking about cameos from all facets of pop culture and fandom. If you are a 90s kid, this movie is going to speak to you on a very emotional level. It was a lot of fun. If you've ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it was a very old movie back in late 80s that had a very similar premise. It was very adult oriented for the subject matter and the characters that showed up in the movie, but it was marketed to kids. I don't know how that movie got marketed to kids, but this movie, it felt like it was marketed more to the kids who grew up with the Rescue Rangers at the time. It is definitely not really what I would call a kids movie. It felt that way when they first announced that they were doing a movie for it, but it turned into this whole sort of, I don't want to say it's a satire, but it's more of a action comedy mystery type movie. So that's basically the premise of the movie. And it, again, like I said, it's a lot of fun. And I think if you grew up during that time, if you really remember these characters when you were younger, it's gonna resonate with you more than if someone didn't really interact with Chip 'n Dale. But I think with all the cameos and the pop culture references and how it plays with certain characters and where these characters have been for the last 30 years, it's very interesting, it's hilarious, and it's very surprising. And it's also kind of a parody, and it really kind of takes a look at what, you know, today the industry really does with reboots and how they treat nostalgic characters, and, you know, what these characters have to do to survive and basically thrive after their time in the limelight has gone away. It's a very interesting look, and I'm glad they play it up for a lot of jokes, but also it has a lot of heart to the movie as well. It's like the relationship between Chip and Dale really carries the movie. You kind of understand where they're both coming from and how much of a misunderstanding a lot of what they dealt with in the past happened. But I really liked the movie. I liked a lot of the cameos. There's so many references and cameos from all different types of characters and studios. Whatever legal team was on this movie to get the license to use some of these characters in this movie, they did a great job, because they got characters in here that I was not expecting to show up. I like how they play with the idea of changing with the times, or, you know, trying to stay relevant in the world when you might not be as relevant anymore, or how some people just kind of give up on their dreams and just have to try to just do what they have to do to make it. And it's interesting to tell this story through the guise of these characters from this classic animated series. The best thing I can say about it is it's like an homage to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's that style of blending the live action with the 2D and even 3D animation, and it blends really seamlessly well in the movie. It's like everything feels like it belongs with each other in this world, and it feels like it's lived in. It's a reflection of our current world, which sounds deeper than it really needs to be, but it is a lot of fun. I enjoyed the movie. I thought all the voice actors and the talent that were involved in it did a fantastic job. Andy Samberg and John Mulaney, who do Chip and Dale's voice, you know, they carry the movie. They carry the movie with their performance, even though it's a voiceover performance. They carry the movie really well. I like Seth Rogen's character and some of the cameos of other characters that he's voiced in the pop culture and other movies was a lot of fun. I liked some of the twists and the turns from it. Some of it was a little predictable, which they make a joke about in the movie, but other of them I didn't really see. And it was actually a decent little kind of whodunit mystery, you know, involved in it. And it went places I did not think they would go places in this movie. Will this lead to an actual like reboot or continuation of the series? I don't think so. I think this was kind of a one-off thing. I could see them doing like an actual series based in live action like this. I think that would be a lot of fun, but where the movie ends, it kind of leaves it in a good spot to be like a one and done movie. See, I was under the impression when they were talking about doing a Chip and Dale movie, it was going to be like a continuation of the animated series or something like that. It was really going to be geared towards kids, but this was just completely caught me off guard and completely by surprise with the direction that they took it, and it was a smart direction to take it. Can younger kids watch the movie? Yeah, but will they get a lot of the references and things like that? Probably not. This is definitely a love letter to fans of the original characters, or to this sort of style of storytelling, parodying animation into a live action space, and I think it's a successful movie. It's not a super in-depth plot point or plot story that they're trying to tell. It's very straightforward, but it is fun, and I just had a lot of fun watching the movie. And you'd have to watch it more than once to catch all of the cameos, because some of them are very blatant, which I'm very surprised who showed up in this movie. Overall, it's a quick review of a very simple but fun movie. I do recommend you checking out Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It's on Disney Plus. It was a joy to watch. It's only an hour and a half, so you're not losing anything if you do watch it. And I liked where they took a lot of the story. It was an enjoyable time. So that's my quick review of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It's a little different than some of the other movies that I usually do on the channel, but you know, I'm a movie fan first. I do watch a lot of other movies besides just comic book movies or sci-fi movies. I'm a lover of animation, as you should know by some of the stuff that I've talked about on the channel, so I do enjoy it a lot. So hopefully you will enjoy it. Hopefully you'll check it out. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. If this is your first time and you did stick around to the end, hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll subscribe to the channel. Like I said, trying to get to 500. Can't get there without you. So that would be a lot of fun. Sorry if you heard any rumbles. It's storming outside, but hopefully it didn't interrupt the audio too terribly much. We got a ton of videos on the channel right now that you're more than welcome to check out. You can follow me on a lot of different social media platforms listed at the end of the video. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.